Hello everyone, I hope you are able to see me. So please confirm audio and video. Yes, it is started now. So please confirm, are you able to see me properly and hear me properly or not? So today's agenda, as you already know, that it is DI. We are going to discuss about DI, and basically we are going to discuss about you, right? Okay, so we have Harshita, Simran, Prabhat. It's far away, I'm not able to see all the names properly. Simran and Nivedita, Mohit, Dhruv, Shantanu. Let me bring this bit closer. Okay. Just need to confirm that classes of 2 hours. Yes, certainly Shantanu, that is the scheduled times. It's 7 to 9. So we shall see. Certainly it will not be elongated. Fine. But yet scheduled time is for 2 hours, up to 9. I'm perfectly fine. Raj, Dipankar, Hriday, Garima, Sudeep. Excellent. Okay, fine. So I hope audio and video is perfectly fine and all of you are able to see me and hear me properly. And I'm also able to see your comments here. Now, I believe that you have attended the previous sessions. So you know that we are going to start the new batch for CAT 2025 and your regular classes, live classes will be starting from the next week. So right now we are having this pre-classes, right? Just an orientation classes. So today's agenda for this class, we are going to talk about CAT DI. And certainly I'm going to check your queries as well, and you are welcome to post your queries in comments. I would be seeing the comments side by side. Akshat, अब से Facebook पे class नहीं होंगी. Classes would be commencing on Facebook only. So these are the previous pre-classes which are open to everyone. So once you enroll in the course, your regular classes will be starting in the Facebook group, that is paid Facebook group. तो क्लासेस फेसबुक पे ही होंगी, ठीक है ना? फाइन. ओके, so as I was saying that I assume that you have attended the previous session. By the way, how many of you have attended the previous sessions? Yesterday also there was a session by Raj sir regarding quant. That was sort of orientation of quant, and before that also you had a session with I think Abhishek sir, and उससे पहले एक स्वराज ने भी एक सेशन लिया था. So how many of you have attended the previous sessions? Have you attended? Yes or no? Please write in comments. So purpose of all these sessions, students, is to make you more and more aware. And as I said, these are the initial sessions, pre-sessions. Yes, many of you have attended. Very nice. Good. So why I'm asking this? So if you have not attended any of the previous session, so I would strongly recommend that certainly you go through the previous sessions also, because the different faculties when you hear from, so certainly you develop a good mindset, right? You hear answer to same question from different mouths. So certainly you develop, you broaden your horizon to see the different things, isn't it? And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. That is the whole purpose. So it is not only marketing thing, right? So sort of you are just getting a glimpse that what you are going to get at iQUANTA, isn't it? Fine. So those who have not attended, I have said already that. So I would strongly recommend that go through them. Okay. So today we are going to talk about DI. So we are going to talk about कि DI में क्या topics हैं, what different topics are there, and how you are going to attempt DI. And what have been the pattern in GI in your CAT exams, right? So different topics I'm going to talk about, different patterns which have been there in CAT exam in this DI section, and how we are going to attempt it, right? How we are going to attempt in this, and how we are going to prepare first, right? Your preparation strategy for this section. So in this particular section, how you are going to prepare, and so what is the ideal strategy, what is the ideal way to prepare yourself for this DI section? And normally you know that we have a combined section, logical reasoning and DI. There have been time in the previous years in CAT when DI and LR had been separated also. There was I think for 2-3 years it happened that quant and DI were combined. That was one section, and verbal plus LR was another section. But most of the times you find this LRDI section combined in CAT, right? So basically DI is half section, half of the one section of LRDI. Fine. So now let's talk about the different topics. So basically, primarily how we distribute these two things. So logical reasoning, we are going to take a session on logical reasoning also, and I think that is scheduled on Sunday. We will talking about Sunday. Sudha, due to some issues, I could not attend many previous classes, like I could not attend any of the April month. So can I restart my preparation again? Yes, certainly, Sudha, no problem. But start preparing. See, I have said it many times. Sometimes we hear this term. Some students feel that I'm a slow learner. In schools, this is a common terminology nowadays. You know, CBSE use this term, slow learner, slow learner. So what is the meaning of slow learner? So I have been hearing this term since long, when I was a student from that time. And I have considered myself also in that category. But what is important here, sometimes we take this term to be derogatory or in the negative side, but actually what is important is learner. Slow or fast is relative term, right? You may be slow in comparison to somebody faster, isn't it? And you may be faster, you may feel yourself faster when you compare yourself with somebody slower. So why to compare, man, right? Don't compare. What is important is be a learner, right? Mark my words, that is the most important thing, most important mindset all of you must have, that be a learner. If you have this learner mindset, you are never going to fail, right? You're never going to fail. You're always going to learn. Whether you do anything perfectly or you are filled with imperfections, imperfections will give you an experience. You will learn from that, right? You will learn from your mistakes. Or agar aap kuch acha karte ho, if you are doing something great, that's very nice, right? So be a learner. So the moment you develop this learner attitude, so then you are always on the progressive path, and that should be certainly your motto. Okay, so coming back to this part, so we are going to discuss about topics. So let's first I was talking about what is the difference between this LR and DI. So logical reasoning, it is as the name suggests, it is logical reasoning, right? So it includes mainly puzzles, right? Basically less numbers, right? Less numbers. Generally there are no numbers or no calculations, or if there are numbers, certainly they are not linear calculations. But DI is data interpretation. This is data interpretation. And in data interpretation, you are having a lot of data, and that data can be represented in various ways. They are going to be our different topics, right? So data can be represented in various ways, in various formats. Many of you are already familiar with that. We are going to talk about that. We'll be solving questions also. And how do you interpret that data? Because based on that data, you are going to get certain questions. So mainly this data interpretation is calculation intensive. It is calculation intensive. Right? So when there are calculations involved, so certainly mathematical part or quant part is required. Fine, quant part is required. Okay, Dhruv is, I'm 17 but already started my prep. What is one tip you would like to give me? I just got done with my 12th class. I think it is too early, but earlier the better, right? Earlier the better, Dhruv. So if any one of you is like Dhruv in the same category, you may be targeting maybe the next year CAT or maybe after that. So better, earlier is the better. So what is the tip? Tip is that practice. And as soon as you start, as soon as you have made up your mind that I want to go for MBA. My own daughter, I asked her, she's in 12th class right now. You have just passed, but she's just entered 12th class. So she's thinking that I want to go for MBA. I don't know from where she had heard the term, but that's good. So whatever comes to your mind, I want to go for that. My only suggestion for all of you to be determined, be committed for that decision, right? And do your groundwork. Why do you want to do that? And then if you are determined now, then go for it, prepare for it. Now, and how to prepare? Go through all the syllabus, go through all the topics, right? And start preparing little bit, bit by bit, right? It's you are not in hurry. So there are different students, but right now our target audience is CAT 2025, right? So CAT 2025 strategy also we will be discussing that in how the remaining time you can utilize it in the proper way. So but majorly in this data interpretation part, it is calculation intensive, so it uses your mathematical skills, right? It involves your mathematical skills. So when I'm talking about mathematical skills, so mainly which mathematical skills are required? So I would primarily say these are the arithmetic skills. And in arithmetic, there are three basic things, there are three basic operations which are used very repeatedly in these data interpretation questions. What are these? They are percentage. You need to use the percentages. What is the meaning of percentage? You get the questions like calculate how much this is the percentage of that, how much percentage increase is there, which in which year sales is having the highest percentage of production, whatever different things are there, right? So use of percentage is there. After that, a lot of time you will find the use of ratios. And the third important aspect is average. So these are the three basic topics of arithmetic which you certainly must be visiting repeatedly. You will encounter these three topics repeatedly while solving data interpretation questions, right? There will be some other topics as well, but slightly. But most of the times you will be getting these three topics: percentage, ratio, and average. You cannot skip them, right? So that's why this arithmetic part is essential not only for your quant section, it is also essential for your DI section. Fine. So these are the different mathematical skills required. Now I was talking about the different topics. So different topics here, when I'm referring to, so I mean the different way of representing data. So based on that, we get different topics, then you will be having different types of classes also. So there can be pie chart representation, there can be line graph, there can be bar graph, there can be, what else? There can be in the pie chart you are having the disk graph also, and what else? Can you suggest any other way of representing the data? There are various other ways. In tabular format also you represent the data, right? And sometimes data is not represented at all in any of the visual ways. Sometimes it is given in the form of a passage only, in the caselet form, right? That is sometimes called as caselet form. Or sometimes you can get a mixture of that as well, right? A mixture of all these things. So these are some of the basic ways of representing data, right? Okay. Isha is saying, do we need to be good in quant to understand LRDI? I told you, Isha, to understand LRDI, you don't need to be good in quants, but to solve the questions, you need these mathematical skills, right? Because as I said, data interpretation is mainly calculation involved. The questions which have calculations to be done. And believe me, it is easier than quants. Why? Why it is easier? Although it involves these mathematical skills, but still it is easier because most of the times, listen carefully, most of the times the questions in question in data interpretation which are calculation intensive, they don't require you to calculate actually because the options are too far away. You can estimate, right? You can estimate. So that's why most of the people, specifically those who you will find that are getting good scores, so they use this estimation techniques. And specifically when your options are far away. If options are not too close, in that case, we can always go for this estimation method. For example, if you are going to get an answer to a question near about, let's say, 95 or 97, right? And options you are having 10, 100, 1000, 10,000, right? You are approximately calculating this coming out to be 97, 95 something, right? You have not calculated exactly. So which answer will you mark? Do we need to calculate it exactly? Certainly not, isn't it? You are going to mark 100 directly. Why? Because your answer is coming closer to that value. So that's how this particular section LRDI and specifically this DI, though it is calculation intensive, though it requires these mathematical skills, but still it is easier than quant. right? It is easier than quant. Now, some of you can say, सर क्यों मजाक करते हो, ऐसा तो कहाँ होता है ना. Practically if we see that number of questions attempted in quant section is more than questions attempted in LRDI section. That's true. That's true. And the reason is that people are afraid of this section. है ना. Why? Logical reasoning समझ नहीं आता है, puzzles different arrangements, it looks cumbersome, and calculations से हमें डर लगता है, I do mistakes. So but they are lacking in these basic skills, that where calculation is not required, you can skip that, you can answer that question faster, right? So same question can be lengthier for a person and it can be a cakewalk for another student, right? So that's how it depends from person to person. So now that depends upon you. How do you perceive the questions? ठीक है ना? And LR and GI is asked separately or combined in one question. That's a good question. So there can be questions. See, in CAT, the questions are not classified that this is a LR set or this is a DI set. That is not the way. So generally, what is the structure? Here? You get some data, right? You have some storyline. And based on that, there are 4 or 5 questions, right? Question number 1, question number 2, question number 3, question number 4, right? So generally there are 4 questions in a set. Sometimes it can be less or more also. So now this set may be in the form of a table or bar graph or pie chart. So then we recognize it with DI, right? And sometimes when it is not there, so people may recognize it with LR. That is a basic convention. But most of the times what happens, that these questions which involve this bar graph or any of these representations, they include logic as well, right? They include logic as well. And also CAT does not specify that this is an LR set and this is a DI set. No, it is a combined section LRDI. So yes, in a sense it is true that a question can include both DI and LR, or rather I should say in that way that all DI questions which involve mathematical calculations, they are also filled with logic. It's not that there is no logic, right? But still calculations are there. So that's what I started with. When there are no calculations or less calculations, generally we call it a topic of LR, right? And when there are certainly some calculations involved, then we call it DI. That's the primary difference. Otherwise, in DI questions also, you need to use logic. Okay? I hope that clarifies. Yes, histogram is a part of that bar graph only. Okay, so these are the different representations. So I hope you have understood so far. So far, any question, any doubt? Yes, you can say case study. Certainly, you can say a case study. There is no need to recognize. See students, there is no need to recognize this is LR set, this is DI set. Of course, as I said, calculation intensive ones we classify among the data interpretation part, and the questions which have no numbers or which have less numbers or maybe no calculations involved, not much calculations involved, that is classified generally among LR. So certainly it depends upon you. You need to prioritize. See, it is true not only for this LRDI section, it is true for your verbal, it is true for your quant section as well. How do you prioritize the questions? That is question selection. So I should term it in that way, that question selection. So which set to attempt and which not. So this question selection while attempting a section is very important. So and again, that is certainly easier, or it may be trickier also in comparison to your other sections. In other section, verbal or quant, there are single questions, right? There are single questions, 20, 22, 24, there are different number of questions, and there is a many choices from which you are to select from. But in case of this LRDI part, you are going to get 4 or 5 sets only, right? You are going to get 4 or 5 sets in a section, and from that only you need to prioritize, you need to select which set I am going to attempt. So again, it depends upon you that you are comfortable with more calculation intensive sets, or you are comfortable with the sets which do not have any calculations. And as I said, most of the times people are afraid of doing calculations, but as I said, many questions don't involve calculations actually, although they are calculation intensive, there are numbers, there are so many things, but options are too far away, they are not too close, so you can use this estimation technique. So that's how that is the area where this estimation part comes into picture, and that you are going to learn by practice. And also it may happen, it's not that among the 4 questions all can use this estimation technique. Some questions may be calculation intensive, so it is possible in a set there is one question number 1 calculation intensive, right? Calculative question. Question 2 calculative question. Question 3 estimation question. Question 4 estimation question. So it is not necessary that if you have started a set, you are going to attempt all the 4 questions, right? It may take time. You can do that, but it may take time. So that's how, what do good students do? They prefer to do those estimation questions, those questions which can be answered faster in less amount of time. So that is a better scenario, isn't it? So if you get 2 questions in one set, 3 questions in another set, 1 question in another set, and so on. So that's how you can increase the number of attempts rather than getting stuck in single set. Right? So that's how this question selection and attempting it faster with accuracy, that is very much important, and for that practice is the only way, right? Practice is the only way. You can ask, how do I get to know it is calculation intensive? How do I get to know whether this question is calculation intensive, or I can estimate, I can choose from the options? How I can get to know that? So for that, practice is the only way, because by practice only you will get to know, okay, this type of question, these are the options, what I need to do. You need to know the steps to answer the question, right? We are going to practice those sets also, and how I can answer this question. So which question should be answered, which question should not be. Sometimes when all the questions you see, in one question a small calculation is required, right? And in another question similar calculation, but it is over a period of 3 or 4 years. So you need to do the same calculation 3 or 4 times to get to the answer to one question. That means one question is requiring whatever effort, the another question for same marks is requires 3 or 4 times effort, right? So why would I go for that, right? Why would I go for that? Although they were having same type of calculations, but if a question is requiring 4 times calculations, 4 times time required, so certainly we will look for the easier option, right? We will go for the easier question, or the question which can be answered in less amount of time, right? So that's how you are going to learn by practice. So I hope that part is clear. So there are different topics like that. And now pattern. So pattern, as we have already discussed that. So pattern is that only that number of questions, difficulty level, easy or hard, how many questions can we attempt, and so on. So that you will become familiar, more and more familiar as you solve questions. So in LRDI specifically this section, there are no specific skills to be learned. There are no specific educational skills to be learned, because whatever mathematical skills are required, that you are going to cover in your arithmetic part or your quant section, right? So there are no separate mathematical skills will be taught in this part. We are just going to be familiar with the different varieties, different topics, and we need to practice how to solve. And as we have discussed all these ways, that we need to see that which question to be answered, which question to not be, right? Which question to be actually calculated and which question can be estimated. Right? So that's what we are going to learn in this section. Fine. So that is the whole thing. Okay. Yes, Krisha, is it certainly interesting than other 2 sections, as I have already mentioned that. It is a puzzle based thing, and I would also recommend all of you to solve puzzles regularly. By the way, how many of you solve different kind of puzzles? Any mathematical puzzles or any calculative things? Ankur Dalal, actually out of 4 or 5 sets, how many sets do we need to do to aim for 97 plus? Ankur, that's a subjective question. It depends upon the difficulty level of that test. I was discussing few days ago, not few days, just yesterday only with other faculty members, that in 2008 I attempted my first CAT, and last year also I attempted the CAT in 2024. From 2008 to 2024, I have attempted more than a dozen of CATs, right? Not every year, in some year I skipped also, but more than dozen of CATs I have appeared in, and I have seen different kind of patterns, different kind of difficulty levels. So there were years when I was able to solve all the DI questions, all the sets. There were years when the difficulty level increased so much that out of the given sets, 4 sets or 5 sets, maybe solving even just one set is sufficient to get 99 percentile. Right? So my score in this section have never dropped to less than 98, never. And always I have got 98 point something, 99 point something, always. Whether I have attempted complete section, complete all the sets, or maybe I have attempted only one set or two sets. Why? Because the number of questions or number of sets you are targeting, it depends upon the difficulty level of the set. So my only advice there is that don't go with the pre-decided mind that I need to target that many sets. No, it is totally based on the difficulty level of the test. Let me tell you about the last year. Before last year, till CAT 2023, for many years, this LRDI section was having 4 sets, right? Till 23, from the previous at least 4-5 years, there were 4 sets. There used to be 4 sets. And last year in CAT 24, it had 5 sets, right? And that was being aware, that was made aware at the time of test only. Before test, it was not disclosed at all. It was not disclosed. Right? Number of questions also increased. Earlier it was 20, now it was 22, right? So basically 22 or 24, so something like that. But there are 5 sets. So point is that how many sets to be attempted, how many questions to be done, you should not decide that. You just need to give your 100%. That's it, right? If it is a difficult test, you may not be able to solve many questions. In that scenario, maybe even 7-8 questions is much more than sufficient, right, to get you 99 percentile. And if it is easier section, all the sets are easier, then certainly you will be able to do 4 sets, 5 sets, maybe all the sets, right? So never think like that, ek set ho gaya to bahut hai. Now, that is a wrong mindset. Don't go with that, right? Because you will find that, I have seen that when I'm seeing that I have this much experience of CATs, different difficulty levels. So there have been, I've seen all the different varieties. I have told you that there were years when I was able to solve all the questions. It does not mean that I'm going to get more than 100 percentile. Certainly not, right? And there were years when I was able to solve only single set. Right? See, out of 20 questions, मान लो 5 questions के 4 set है, I'm able to solve only one set, 5 questions, 6 questions only. But still, my score was 99 percentile or 98.9 percentile, something like that, right? Close to 99 percentile always. So why it is so? Because of the difficulty level of test, right? And it is common for all the aspirants. That is a key point, right? So your score, your percentage score is different thing, your percentile score, and CAT works on percentile. Where do you stand among all the aspirants, right? That is a key point, right? So I hope that clarifies all the things. Okay, other than Sudoku, what puzzle should we try? There are various versions of Sudoku. Sudoku is a nice exercise, and that will help you in your basically puzzle skills, reasoning skills, and moreover, most importantly, it will help you to sit for longer duration. Right? What is it is going to helpful be in sit for longer durations on same question, right? Sit for longer duration on same question. You know, nowadays difficulty is that people have very less attention span. बहुत जल्दी बोर हो जाते हैं, मुझसे नहीं हो रहा, है ना? I can't do it. I am unable to do it. So when you solve puzzles like that, as you mentioned Sudoku, and there are many other puzzles also. You can solve puzzle books also, so that will be helpful in your LR part as well as DI part. But most importantly, as I mentioned, it will help you to develop this habit of sitting for longer duration on same question and lage raho, be persevere and develop this perseverance so that I'm going to complete it, I'm going to finish it, I'm certainly going to do it, right? Don't leave it. Jab tak pura na ho mat chodo bhai. This is a preparation phase, right? So in this preparation phase, our target is that only. And when you encounter the similar question again for the second time or third time, then you will see that you are improving now, right? So in the first phase, when you're doing anything new, it may take time, right? It may take time. So when you grasp something, you try to grasp something, कई बार होता समझ नहीं आता, right? It takes time. But when you do the same thing repeatedly, then it becomes much easier, because already lot of groundwork has been done, isn't it? So that's where this perseverance comes into picture. Perseverance means, you know this word? This perseverance means lage raho, right? Lage raho, don't give up, right? Don't give up. Okay, so let's proceed further. Yes, I'm coming further now. So pattern we have talked about. So how to prepare, we have also talked about that. Preparation is practicing different variety. So let's proceed further and see what else we are having. So relevancy and weightage So that we already talked about. So weightage in LRDI section, we have talked about that. This is one part, and although the questions are not specified that this is LR set or this is DI set, mainly on the basis of the number of calculations, the numbers, so we just classify them, it is DI set. But DI also includes logic, right? DI also includes logic. Listen carefully, students. There have been years when there was not a single set जिसके अंदर बड़ी बड़ी tables हों, bar graph हों. There have been years, and there have been years when all the sets include all these different varieties. So it is a combination of the two things, logical reasoning and DI. So while preparing, we need to prepare for all the things, right? So in the beginning phase, we are going to prepare for everything. We are going to prepare for LR also. We are going to prepare for DI also, and we are going to prepare for their combinations also, right? And that's how we are going to be ready. We are going to be ready to face whatever comes our way, isn't it? So that's the different weightage we have talked about. And relevancy, of course, it is a relevant thing, and you see the data represented at various places in various ways, you know? And it is a part of CAT. That is the main thing. Can you tell me in real life, where have you seen the usage of the different representations of data? Can you give me any such example? I'm waiting for your comments here. Where have we used these different methods of representing the data in a real life? Any example you might have? You may have seen data somewhere. Asta is asking, can you explain what is the set which you mentioned? Set is a storyline in which data is represented, and we are having certain questions based on that. So we are going to come to that, Asta. So have patience. So after this, we are going to solve some questions also. Okay? So right now, I'm asking about the different ways or different practical example, the real life examples you may have seen where the data has been represented in certain ways. And you can mention the different ways also. Okay, some of you are mentioning stock market. Yes, in stock market you have seen something like this, right? Some bar graph is there. Sometimes you see the bar graph. Sometimes tabular representation is also there. And sometimes circular diagram, pie chart, that is also there, right? News articles, iQUANTA dashboard. Certainly, yes, iQUANTA dashboard also. You will be having analysis of your score. So when you register in the course, and then you take mock tests, practice tests and all. So you see the analysis, right? And also when we show you the different weightage of different topics in quant or verbal, you see that this question, this topic has 20% weightage in the exam, this topic has 30% weightage, this topic has 50% weightage, like that, right? Certainly that's there. What else? Making months and reports. Yes, certainly, Aditya. Mobile battery, excellent. Mobile battery also. Mobile battery is also displayed sometimes using pie chart. I've seen that. Good. Cricket, certainly in cricket also scores are displayed in various ways, right? In the visual ways. So basically the benefit of using these visual ways, it is better than the textual way. What is the major benefit? Without actually calculating it, we can just see the things, we can just see the data presented in that visual format, and we can estimate easily, right? We can estimate easily whether the trend is increasing or it is decreasing, what is the gap here, and many different things, right? If we need to calculate, actually, certainly we need to require the actual values, and we can work accordingly. But just by using those visual formats, so without actually calculating, we can estimate many things, right? And that's how this topic is relevant to actually. So this DI is mainly about just by seeing the data, without actually calculating, you can estimate what is happening here, right? So that's what the main thing is. There's most of the times there's no requirement of actually calculating the things. I hope that is okay. Yes, weather forecast also. There are many examples. Thank you for your contributions. So certainly, I hope now it is very clear. So what is the relevancy of this topic, and how we can solve this, and why we are representing it in visual formats. As I just mentioned, that data could have been represented in normal textual format. As I mentioned, that is also format. Sometimes we get the data in that way also. But when it is represented in visual format, any of the visual format, it becomes easier to visualize, and just by visualizing, reaching to certain conclusion without actually calculating. And we get such questions in exams, right? We need to find out that. Some questions may require actual calculation, and some questions can be answered without actually calculating also. Fine. Any question so far? Any doubt so far? Can we get separate subject batch from iQUANTA? No, Astha. We are having a combined course only. Yes, so far it is combined course only. But yes, you can share your request with our admin team. That's a new business market. You are giving a business pitch. Okay. There's a new batch. Yes, there's a new batch certainly. It is starting from the next week. The regular classes are starting from next week, and for that only we are having these sessions right now. Each and every place use data in current era, health, automobiles, per capita, GDP, politics. Yes, certainly. Okay, so shall we proceed further? Are you ready for the questions? We have taken enough time in discussing all these things. How much time we have taken so far? I can't see the time. What's the time? Oh, it's 7:40. Around 40 minutes. Okay. Okay, so I'm proceeding further now. So this is the first question for all of you. So some of you were asking about what is a set. So this is a set. This is a representation. All of you can see. Now this representation is called bar graph. Right? This is called bar graph. You can see these vertical rectangles here, right? This blue, orange. There are two colored rectangles are there. And now this is called a data. So this data has been represented in the form of a vertical rectangles. They are called bars, right? So this is an example of bar graph. This is an example of bar graph. Now, so what we are supposed to do? We need to read the data carefully. So there are directions for that. So the questions will be followed after this diagram. So what are the directions for the questions? We need to refer to the following bar graph and solve the questions based on it, right? So right now, that is a basic, that is a general direction you will find always with every set of LRDI. Now, what is mentioned about this bar graph that is there? Amount of production, that is one thing, and sales by a company over the years in lakhs of tons. Right? So it is talking about the amount of production and sales of a company. Which company? The name has not been mentioned. Fine. So production and sales kitna hua hai over the years in lakhs tons. So the units are also very important here. So we can see the diagram here. So on this horizontal graph, horizontal axis, we can see the years 1991, 1992 and so on up to 1996, right? We are having this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 years data is there, and you can see the different colors. So this blue color refer to production, right? And the amount of production basically, and same with this amount of sales, right? And how much it has been, that is mentioned by through the vertical height, and you can read it through this vertical axis here, right? And see, now if I talk about this blue bar, this first bar, blue bar, which refers to basically production in the year 1991, right? So can you tell me how much production has been done? So we just need to take this approximate value here, right? So although this is not pointing directly to any number, it's no number is written here, so we will take it to be 7, isn't it? It is 7. So now can you tell me exactly what is the production of this company in 1991? Please write your answer. What are the actual questions that we will see later, but before that just try to read the data carefully. So what is the production of this company in 1991? Please tell me. 7 what? 7 what? You have to tell the units also, right? Don't miss the units. That's why I'm asking this question. Is it 7 units have been produced? No. It is 7 lakhs tons, right? It is 7 lakh tons, right? So we need to be very careful about what is being given, what is being asked, right? What is given, what is being asked. So the numerical value is 7, but what is that 7? It is 7, not 7 units. 7 units have been produced. No, it is 7 lakh ton of the quantity has been produced, right? Which quantity? I don't know, right? But total how much quantity? And that quantity is mentioned here in lakhs of tons. So this is 7 lakhs ton. Same way we know the sales in that year, production, sales. For these 6 years, this data is given. I hope that is clear so far. Fine. So can you tell me in which year sale was highest? In which year sale was highest? Do we need to solve anything here? Certainly not. In which year sale was highest? Sale is referred to by this blue, orange rectangle here, right? This orange bar. So highest, that means the longest length here, you can easily see that it is in the last year 1996. Isn't it? No calculation required, just see an answer. Just see an answer, right? Okay, can you tell me when the difference between production and sales was least? I repeat, in which year the difference between production and sale was minimum? So we just need to see the difference between these two heights, right? I don't know the actual value, I just need to see the difference, right? The difference here is 2. We know this difference is 2 units here. So this is 2. This is more than 2. This is again more than 2. This is again more than 2. This is again more than 2. And this is 1 only, isn't it? This is 1 only. So this is the first year 1991. So that's how, without actually calculating, just by seeing the data, we can answer a lot of questions. Right? Not every question. Don't say in certain, sorry, set में तो ऐसा एक भी question नहीं मिला. It may happen. It may happen. Right? And that's how you are to distinguish the different questions at the time of test. But while preparing, we are supposed to solve each and every question and gain that wisdom. Gain that wisdom when to say yes to a question and when to say no to a question. Even you can solve it, but still you say wait. It's very difficult to say no to others, you know. Questions are very lucrative. I sometimes say this, questions are very lucrative. Questions are made in such a way, by CAT specifically, by any good examiner, questions are set in such a way that you cannot leave a question. You will think, I can do it, right? You will feel, I can do it. I know how to do it, right? So questions are attractive. Question will try to trap you. Please come, try to solve me. But you need to be very vigilant and very careful. Don't get trapped. Don't get trapped by the question. You need to be intelligent enough to see how much time, how much effort is going to be put in answering that particular question. Is it going to require longer duration, or it can be answered very easily, very faster, right? That you need to decide, right? So while practicing, while preparing, so that sense we need to develop, and specifically while attempting that test or practice test, right? But while preparing, you need to solve all the questions, only then you are going to get that wisdom tooth. है ना? So sometimes लोग बोलते हैं कि अक्कल दांत नहीं आया, अक्कल जाड़ नहीं आया. So that wisdom tooth, how you are going to get? By practice only, right? So by practice, when you have solved all varieties of questions, then you know that I can solve this question, but still I say no to this question. Why? Because there are easier questions which I can answer faster in less amount of time. Okay, so that is the whole information about this data here, and there are going to be certain questions based on this. There are, how many questions, it is not mentioned. Generally it is also mentioned that how many questions are based on this given data. Okay, so these are the questions now one by one. Okay, let's solve the questions one by one. I think you can see the question, and if required I will go back. What is the difference between the sales of 1993 and 1995 in 1,000 tons? That is the question. We have to find the difference between sales, right? I hope the question is clear. Is the question clear to all of you? Is it a difficult question? Certainly not, right? It's not a difficult question at all. So we just need to find the difference. Difference means I need to subtract two values. Right? See, whenever the term difference is used, always remember that it is always the positive difference. It is always the positive difference. There is no need to tell that which amount is to be subtracted from which. It is always a positive difference. We need to subtract the smaller quantity from the larger quantity. Unless it is specified ki subtract this number from that number. If it is not specified, only the term difference is being used. So difference always means the positive difference. Okay? Always remember that. For example, if I say you, what is the difference between our ages, right? Let's say I am, how much I am? I have just turned 44. I have recently just turned 44, and suppose your age is 20. I'm assuming that. So what is the difference between our ages? So you don't need to think again which number to be subtracted from which. When I'm asking what is the difference between our ages, it is always the positive difference. Fine. So same way in this question it is asking about what is the difference between the sales. So remember there were two different terms, sales and production. So we are talking about the difference between sales of which year? 1993 and 1995, right? And in 1,000 tons, right? So these are the options: 1,000, 50, 100, 500. I hope it should be very easy for all of you. Let's go back to the question. Yes, Isha, good. Isha has noted down very nice thing here. She is saying in this question the 1,000 tons it is being asked, but in the graph it was given in lakhs of tons. Excellent. It is given in 1,000 tons. But if I go back to the table, go back to that bar graph, it was given in lakhs tons, right? So can you tell me 1 lakh ton and 1,000 ton, what is the difference? What is the conversion there? By the way, the years we were talking about sales. Sales is that orange part, right? That orange part. And the years were 1993 and 1996, right? 93 and 95. So 93 orange value is here. How much it is? This is 9. And in 95 it is 10, isn't it? We are talking about these two values here, these two bar graphs here. So in 93 the sales value was 9 lakh tons, and 95 the sale value is 10 lakh tons, right? So what is the difference? It is 1 lakh ton, right? It is 1 lakh ton. 10 minus 9, that is 1, isn't it? But now it is asking about in 1,000 tons. So of course answer is not 1. That is not in the options as well. So 1 lakh ton. So the question comes out to be change the units, right? Suppose if 1 also had been in the options, how many students were going to attempt this question wrongly? Majority of the students, right? Majority of the students were going to attempt it wrongly. Very easy question, but still they would attempt it wrongly. Why? Because of this unit conversion. So now I need to see this 1 lakh ton is how many 1,000 tons. That is the question here. So can you tell me how much 1 lakh is how many thousands? What's your answer? It's 100 or 1,000. Some of you are saying 100, some of you are saying 1,000. I want same answer. So my dear students, 1 lakh means 100,000s. 100,000s. You know, in 1 lakh, 1, 0, 0 and 0, 0, 0. So this is a 1,000 part, right? So 1 lakh is basically 100,000s. So 100 is certainly the right answer, isn't it? I hope it is very clear. Okay. Good. Yes. Okay, let's proceed to the next question now. Ready? Is anyone having any doubt in this question? Is that clear? Yes, it's clear. Nice. Okay, I'm moving to the second question now. So here it is on your screen. Now it says total sales of 1991 and 1992 together are approximately, see this question is also using the term approximately. That means it doesn't require you to calculate actually, but approximate, right? So the total sales of these 2 years, total sales, right? Total sales of 91 and 92 together are approximately what percentage of the sales in 1994? So I'm sure what you have to do. So before I go back to that bar graph, please tell me how we are going to calculate this. What we need to do here? What we are supposed to do here? So we need to calculate that this total sale is what percent of the sales in 1994. So what is the method? What is the way to calculate this percentage? Aryan, this class is up to 9. It's scheduled for 2 hours. And I will try not to waste your time, okay? Yes, excellent, Vedant. Sum of the 91, 92 values, sale values, then divided by 94 and then multiply by 100. Simple thing. See, if I ask you 30 is what percent of 50. How do we calculate this? So when we say percent, so basically we are talking about out of 100. So this, as 30 is out of 50, to how much out of 100? It is 60, right? Without writing also we can see, but what is the basic way? The way is that when I need to calculate this, so this is going to be 30 divided by 50 multiplied with 100. So that is going to give you final answer, that is 60%, right? Now same way, in this question, I need to calculate that total sales of 91 and 92 together is what percentage? They are approximately what percentage of the sales in 1994. That means I need to add the sales of 1991 and sale of 1992 divided by sales in 1994 and multiplied with 100. So that's the actual calculation we are supposed to do, right? Now we are to actually do it, or we can approximate it, that's up to you, right? But that's what is required to be done. Okay, let's see the numbers now. Let's see the numbers. So we are talking about 91, 92 and 94 sales value. So by the way, now the units are not very important here. We can omit the units, we can just go by those numbers. We are talking about sales value, again the orange part, 91, 92 and 94, right? So 91 is 6. 92 is 10, right? So 10 plus 6, this 6 plus 10, that is 16, and we need to compare it with 94 value, which is 13, right? So I hope it is very clear now. Let me write there only. So that was, this is actually 6 plus 10. I need to compare it with 13 and multiply by 100. Fine, that is the final thing we are supposed to do. That is 16 by 13 into 100. Now some of you may argue that can we use calculator here? Yes, you can. You can, yes, it is available there. But is it required? That is my question to all of you. Is it required? No. Question itself is asking the approximate answer. Right? Now all of you please tell me, is this answer, is this value going to be less than 100% or more than 100%? Please answer fast. Is it going to be less than 100% or more than 100%? It's more, right? 16 is more than 100% of 13, right? So 100% cannot be the answer. 50% cannot be the answer. Yes or no? Simple. Acha, is 16 200% of 13? Certainly not, because 200% means double, right? 13 ka double to 26 hota hai na. It is way less than that. 200% is also not the answer. Certainly no need to calculate. Answer is 120%. Is it okay? I hope you are getting the idea. So that is the main thing. This DI is actually calculation intensive, calculation oriented, but it is not supposed always. In some questions you can find that you need to actually calculate, but most of the questions are primarily designed in such a way that you can just interpret the data to get to the answer very fast. That's the objective. Okay. So I need to have your review so far. Are you understanding? Are you with me? Are you understanding all the things which we are discussing? There is slight gap of some 5-10 seconds with what we say, what I say, and what I see your comments. I need to have your in between review here. So yes, yes, yes. So I can see the many yes here. So that shows yes, you are following that, and I hope you all of you have got the idea. So very important point, dear students, is that you need to know that what is to be calculated. Now whether to actually calculate or not, that depends upon question and the options and you also, right? But unless you know that what is to be calculated, then approximation is also not going to work. अरे मालूम ही नहीं है करना क्या है तो कैसे करोगे, right? So that's why basic mathematical skills, basic arithmetic skills are required, but calculation is required or not, that is not necessary, right? So calculation can be avoided as we have done here. I have not calculated at all, right? I have not calculated at all whether it is 120% or not. I have not calculated. I have negated the options, right? I have seen the 16 is more than 100% of 13, right? So 100% or less than that cannot be my answer. It is certainly not the double It's not 200% of 13. So only option left is 120%, and this must be the nearest option. Fine? Okay. Yes, I'm moving to the next question now. Here it is. Again, it is asking about the approximate, and this time I wish all of you to read yourself and try to answer. It says, what is the approximate percentage increase in production? This time it is asking about production from 93 to 1994. When you have read the question, please confirm me to move back to the bar graph. I will show you the bar graph. What is the approximate percentage increase in production from 93 to 94? 93 से 94 की प्रोडक्शन वैल्यू में कितना परसेंटेज इंक्रीज हुआ है? And options you can see here. Okay, I'm moving back to the bar graph. And by the way, you can take a screenshot of this bar graph if required. That would be easier, I guess. I'm erasing all this ink here. So 93 to 94 production values. Production, remember, it is the blue part. So the values you can see here, it is 12 and 16. I'm going back to the question. Basically, you just need to answer 12 to 16. What is a percentage increase? And it's very easy calculation. Answer fast. 12 to 16. What is the percentage increase? That's the question, right? So what's your answer? Dhruv, generally that is a good idea, and generally we do that. Somehow our editors may have forgotten this time. No problem. You can take a screenshot of that bar graph. That's what I said. You can take a screenshot of the bar graph, and anyway, right now I'm showing you the bar graph. So now at this point of time, what we need to calculate is that in 93, the production value was 12 lakh tons. Units are not important here because we are looking for the percentage increase here, right? So in 1994, the value reached to 16. So how much percentage increase is there? So that's a simple question. Yes, option B is certainly correct answer. So the point is that how do we calculate percentage increase? So whenever we have to calculate percentage increase, we take the difference. So that is a basic way, percentage increase. And that is again a basic questions of percentages. As I was telling you that the basic skills of percentage, average and ratios are required in the calculative questions of DI. So percentage increase, how do we calculate? So we calculate, we write it as the difference, or basically increase divided by the base value, जिससे compare कर रहा है, right? The from which the value is getting increased, the base value or the previous value also sometimes people write, the base value, I'm using the word here, and multiplied with 100. So in this case, what is the increase or what is the increment here? It is 16 minus 12. Right? This is 16 minus 12, and what was the base value which has increased? That was 12, the previous value basically. So this is 12 and multiplied with 100. So that will give my final answer. This is 4 by 12, which is nothing but 1 by 3. So 1 by 3, I am sure all of you know. So 1/3 means how much? It is 33 and 1 by 3%, right? So obviously the answer is option B, right? You can't argue here. Bhai, answer was 33, 1 by 3. There is no 1 by 3 or 0.33. How I can say this is the answer? Because question is asking about approximate answer, right? Because question is asking about approximate answer. So we can immediately answer that. And as I was telling you, calculations are not required. So if I am good with my arithmetic skills, so there is no need to write these values here. There is no need to write these values here. Just by seeing the bar graph, I can see from 12 it is reaching up to 16. There is an increment of 4, and 4 is 1/3 of 12, right? That was the thing we calculated here. 4 is 1/3 of 12, and 1/3 means 33%. That's it, right? That's it. Is that okay? So I'm sure it must be clear to all of you. I'm moving to the next question now. Okay, the percentage of sales to production. The percentage of sales to production is maximum see the percentage of sales to production is maximum in which of the following years. So out of these 4 years here, 91, 92, 94 and 96, I need to see that percentage of sales to production is maximum in which year. I will take you back to that bar graph and we will calculate there only. But first tell me what we are supposed to calculate. What mathematical expression we need to calculate? Percentage of sales to production. So how to calculate percentage of sales to production? Can you write the expression? Sujal, 16 is 4 or 12, 3 by 4, which is 1/4. 25, can you for this matter? Sujal, I need to compare that increment from the base value, that is 12, right? So I need to compare that 1/4 is how much of that 3/4? It is 1/3, not 1/4, right? So answer is 33%, not 25. I hope that makes sense. Difference between sales and production and then the higher. It's not difference. It's not difference, Dhruv. Yes, exactly, Satish. It is sales divided by production into 100. See, it is talking about percentage of sales to production. Matlab, whatever quantity you are producing, how much percent you are able to sell. How much percent you are able to sell, right? So that is the percentage being talked about here. See it again. The percentage of sales to production, right? So sale is what percent of production basically. That is the thing here. So the expression would be sale, the value of sale divided by the value of the amount of production in that particular year into 100. So that is the sale percentage, the percentage of sale to production. Now we need to see that this expression or this value is maximum in which year, right? That's what we are supposed to do. Yes. It is ratio, exactly. So 100 part is going to be common in every case. So we don't need to write. Basically, I need to see the ratio part, right? So sales by production, this ratio is highest or maximum in which year, right? So let's get back to that bar graph. And also remember one thing, I don't need to compare about all the 6 years. I need to see only these given years in the options, right? So 91, 92, 94 and 96. So basically 93 and 95, these 2 years are to be omitted. They are not to be calculated, right? If calculation is to be done, so 93 and 95 need not to be calculated because I need to see from the options only, right? Question clearly says that in maximum in which of the following years, right? So among the options, these are the only 4 years. So I'm going to leave 93 and 95, and expression all of you are familiar now. It is sales by production, that ratio I need to see. Basically, it is maximum in which of the following years. So let's get back to that bar graph, sales by production. And here it is. Okay, so I'm writing it again for you. So sale by production into 100. So that is the expression I want to look for, and I'm leaving the year 93 and 95. Beside that, all of the 4 values. Let me write the expression. For 91, see, sale is going to be at the numerator, so orange upon blue. So in this case, 91 to likhna hai na, 93, 95 are to be discarded. So it is 6 by 7, isn't it? So this is 6 by 7. 91 mein hai, 91, it is 6 by 7 into 100, right? And in 92, 93 I'm leaving, then 94, 95 I'm leaving, then 96. So these are the 4 years we want to check. So in the first year, 91, it is 6 by 7. In 92, it is going to be how much? This is 10 by 13, isn't it? This is 10 by 13. Then in 94, it is how much? This is 13 by 16, isn't it? This is 13 by 16. And in the year 96, if you see, it is 16 by 18. So I need to see which of these 4 fraction is largest or maximum. Largest. Can you find out this? Yes, exactly, Gauri Krishna. So when it is written x to y, of course it is x divided by y. That's division. Aryan, that is next week. Okay, many of you are writing 91. I have not seen the options, which option. So right now these are the 4 years I need to see: 91, 92, 94 or 96. I have written all the values here. I have removed the 100 part because it is common. So out of these 4 fractions, which is the largest fraction or largest ratio? That's what we need to check. For which year? 91, 92, 94 or 96? Okay, some of you are saying 96. Earlier some of you were saying 91. Array, please recheck. See, again the same thing. You can use calculators if required, right? Calculators can be used, but you can avoid that also. It's completely your choice. It's completely your choice. Yes, anything? Okay, still I'm seeing 2 answers, mainly primarily 91 and 96. Some of you are still writing 91. Here Krisha Rathod is saying 91. And earlier many of you have written 96 also. Denomic is saying 96. Devadatta says 96. Garima says 96. And Suzal says 94 also. Okay, let's see now. Let's see how to calculate this. How to calculate this. Again, there can be many ways. As I said, you can use calculator also if you feel like that. But if we can save time without using calculator, that would be better, right? So let's try to do. So one thing, if I need to calculate it actually, it is going to be lengthier, right? Let's try to avoid that. Tell me, among these fractions, I want to see which is largest, right? So if I upside down, if I take reciprocal of them, अगर मैं इनको उल्टा कर दूं, right? So the larger fraction would become smaller. Yes or no? Larger fraction would become smaller. The smaller one would become larger, right? So if I make them upside down, this is going to be 7 by 6. This would be 13 by 10. This would be 16 by 13. This would be 18 by 16. Right? I have just inverted these fractions. I have just taken the reciprocal of all these fractions. I'm just going to give you one way, right? Maybe you can do it much easier than this. I'm just going to give you another approach, how you can approach different questions. So this question, if I reverse the numbers, now among all these fractions, now I'm not looking about the largest one, because earlier whatever was larger one must have become the smallest one now. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes, right? So among these 4 fractions, now I am looking for the smallest one. So whichever is the smallest fraction among these 4 is going to be the largest one here, because the reciprocal must have been largest, and that particular year is my answer. Is that okay? Now, what is the benefit doing like this? It's very easy now, because all of these are more than 1. Right? All of these are more than 1. I can subtract that 1. This basically first one is 1 plus 1 by 6. Yes or no? Right? It is 1 plus 1 by 6. How much it is? This is 1 plus 3 by 10. What about this? This is 1 plus 3 by 13. What about this? This is 18 by 16. I can write it as 9 by 8. I'm cancelling out the common factor also, right? So it basically becomes 1 plus 1 by 8. Is it okay? Is it okay so far? Right? Now, among all these fractions, you see, this 1 was the common part that can be discarded. Among the remaining ones, 1 by 6, 3 by 10, 3 by 13, 1 by 8, I need to see the smallest one. Smallest one. Let's see. Let's compare 1 by 6, 1 by 8 first. Let's compare them. Among 1 by 6, 1 by 8, numerator is same. So more the denominator. What about the value? Value will be smaller or less? If you increase the denominator, value is going to be smaller, and I am looking for the smaller one, right? That means this option cannot be the answer. I repeat that, 1 by 6, 1 by 8, right? So the numerator part is same, 1, but in the denominator it is 6 here, this is 8 here. So 8 is a larger value. So if you are having a larger number in the denominator with same number in numerator, so larger number in denominator makes the number smaller, right? You can see that 1 by 2, 1 by 3, 1 by 4, 1 by 5, 1 by 6, the values are decreasing. Yes or no? Yes. So without actually calculating the value, I got to know this cannot be the answer here, right? Because this is certainly not the smallest fraction among these 4, because isse chota to yahi hai, right? So this is discarded. Now same way, these two, among these 2 fractions, I can see this 3 is the same numerator here in these 2 fractions part, right? So this is 3 by 10, 3 by 13. Of course, 3 by 13 is smaller than this one. So this second option is also negated. right? The second option is also negated. Now I'm left with only these two. This is 3 by 13 and this is 1 by 8. Can you suggest any way to calculate this, sir? Very easy. You have done this multiple times in your school. 3 by 13 and 1 by 8. We don't need to convert them in decimals or something. What we can do? What we can do to compare these two fractions here, 3 by 13 and 1 by 8. How I can compare which is smaller? Because I'm looking for the smaller one out of them. What can be done? Yes, LCM is one of the ways. Alright, LCM is one of the ways. I can make the denominator same. Right, I can make the denominator same by cross multiplying them. So 3 into 8, 24, and 13 into 1, 13. That's it. Sometimes people call it cross method also. Right, so 13 into 1, 13, and 8 into 3, 24. So among 24 and 13, can you tell me which one is smaller? Everyone can tell that. Right, everyone can tell that. So certainly this 13 is a smaller one. That means this 1 by 8 was the smaller one. So this fraction was the smallest among all these four. That means this fraction was largest among all the four. That means certainly 96 is my answer. Right. So I've taken certain time to explain this basic concept for that part only, that it is very easy to be done. Right. There is nothing much to do. All these things can be done mentally or with the least amount of writing. But there's no requirement of using calculator to calculate their actual decimal values and then get to the answer. We can do that, but that is going to take more time. Now that's your call. That's your practice. Right? So yes, the correct answer here is 1996. Is it fine? So I would see my task here is to show you the different ways how you can approach a question. Right? And certainly your task is to learn that. If you don't learn, if you don't try to learn, if you don't apply, then you are not going to take any benefit. You will remain whatever you were, right? So as I have told you, calculation could have been done using calculator also, but certainly this is going to save our time. And as we have seen here, how I can compare the fractions. Okay? Yes, exactly. For every question, see, this has been my practice of seeing the questions, that I try to see a question in different ways because there are different minds. See, right now you must be some few students here, a few 100,000 students, and in actual CAT you will be having lakhs of students there. So everyone is seeing the same question, but everyone has got different mindset. Right? So from that mindset, how can you approach that question? There are various ways. And sometimes totally different approaches are there to solve a question. Right? So you must try to become familiar with the multiple ways. You should devise your own multiple ways of seeing a thing. Right? So that it becomes easier for you to think. So, you know, what is the most important part here? CAT is not looking for any mathematicians. I think I said it in the last session as well. CAT is not looking for any mathematicians or the language pros, right? It is not. So, what it is looking for? It is looking for the people who can actually manage in that situation. And what is the situation here? You have been thrown into a tough situation. You have been given a problem. Isn't it? You have been given a problem. But the good thing is that you are having the options also. You are having hints also, right? So that's, you are to see that how you are going to tackle that situation, tackle that tough situation. So that is what CAT is looking, that whether you are smart enough or not, right? So I remember this formula, I remember that formula, I remember that shortcut, I remember that shortcut. That's a very nice thing. That's very nice thing. But unless you are equipped with the skills to use them, then all that knowledge will not be that much helpful, right? So what we have to do, we have to develop our skills and that use all the smart tricks in a nice manner as we have just discussed. Okay, so I'm proceeding further to the next question. This we have already done, second question, third question, and fourth. I think this was the last one only. Yes, now this is the next set. Before we read this, if there's any confusion, any doubt, anything you want to say, I'm here to see your comments. After that, we shall start with this next set here. Gauri Krishna, one question, the non-engineering module, should we finish it together in a week before the classes start or before every topic? Every topic, this was said earlier also, Gauri. So for every topic, so whatever topic is going to be started in your regular batch, so with that you can cover the non-engineering videos of that particular module, ठीक है ना, that particular topic, and that is also not compulsory to go through all of them together, because topic might have 3 or 4 or 5 classes, right? It may take 2 or 3 weeks. So accordingly, whatever particular topic, particular part of that topic is to be done in that particular week, you can just go through that video, right? And suppose if you are not able to do that before the class, you can refer to that after the class as well, right? That's completely up to you. That's completely up to you how to use it. So we have given you a nice product. Yeah, we are giving you nice products. Now use them for your own benefit. That's the whole objective. We wish that you be benefited with that, right? Okay, I have another question by Vedika. Previous batch students will also have access to new batch, or the classes will be combined? No, they will not be combined, and there is no need to have access. You have access to all the things, right? If you have joined our any previous batch, so you are having access to all the things, and the new batch students will be having their classes separately. So there is no mixing of the two batches, right? There is no mixing. Okay, and in any case, if you want to shift your batch, then you can contact our admin team, right? They will suggest you how you can do that if required. If whether it is required or not, that also can be discussed. But there is no mixing of the two batches. These are two separate batches. Okay, Anuj, what is it all about non-engineering module? Non-engineering module we have been discussing in the previous sessions as well. In non-engineering module, we have included the basic, we have cleared the basic concepts which are you are supposed to be proficient in. See, this we were discussing, I think, last session as well, that sometimes the majority of the CAT aspirants nowadays are from non-math background. Many of you may not have studied mathematics after 10th class. By the way, it is not required though, because most of the concepts which are being used, whether it is quant or whether it is DI, whatever part it is, so whatever mathematical skills are required, majority of them belong to the class 10th, up to class 10th. But students, those who have not studied mathematics after 10th class, sometimes they have lost touch, right? They have lost touch with the subject. So that's why to compile all the things in relevance to CAT, we have created this non-engineering module last year, and this has been really very successful experiment. Many students who were not from mathematical background and those who were afraid of mathematics or quant or DI, they were really very benefited with that. And same we expect for you people also. So those who are not in touch with mathematics, so you can go through with them. And I said it yesterday as well in the last session also, that even if you are good with mathematics, then also it is going to be very helpful for you, right? But how much time you can spend and in what parts, that's completely up to you. So as per the time available with you, how you can manage your time, accordingly you can go with that. Preferentially, as I mentioned earlier for Gauri Krishna as well, that topic by topic you have to go through them. It's not that all the non-engineering videos you are to finish. That's not going to be benefited. It is not some web series. You have to go through all the series, all the sessions. No. So whatever topic is going to be there in your class next week, you can go through the non-engineering videos of that particular topic. That's it, right? That's how you can manage it. I hope it is clear. Sujal says percentages will be the first chapter to be taught in the classes, right? Sujal, wait for the announcement. That will be announced in your batch. So no need to rush for that. You can wait for at least 1 or 2 days minimum. Gauri Krishna, another question. Also, Raj sir told that in July the quant portion will be done. Not completely, but majority part would be done. That was suggested by sir. I was there along with him. I heard that. And it is same for DILR according to the sets and practice. Yes, certainly. In DILR, as we have already discussed, there are no specific syllabus actually, but there are different varieties of questions. So certainly, yes, majority portion you will be able to do within 2-3 months only. So right now it is beginning of May. So May, June, July. Yes, so mid-July. So that is 3 months almost. So in this 2-3 months, you will be covering majority part of the syllabus in this new batch. And those who have joined the earlier batch, certainly you have already covered a lot of syllabus. So after that, you can certainly go for the mocks and all. Okay, na? Okay, Vedant, when will have our Vedic maths class? Vedic maths, we don't have any separate class for Vedic maths. We have the calculation methods and all things before our certain classes. Before our regular classes, in between also, along with the classes, like we discuss method of comparing fractions. So with topic to topic, wherever it is required, so we discuss all the calculation methods. But as such, we don't have any class by the name Vedic maths class. Okay. So, but we discuss all the calculation methods and various approaches as we had just discussed today also and further sessions also. So, wherever it is required accordingly, along with that we discuss all the things. Okay, calculation classes, there would be some classes in between along with that. Okay, Isha, any tips about how to manage time, as we are just beginning and it's quite overwhelming and confusing on how to manage internship, college, CAT, and also not being from a math background. Isha, first thing is that I like that that dialogue from Raj sir. Okay, don't give yourself excuses. If you will have so many reasons that, oh, I have that limitation, that shortcoming, that problem, that difficulty, there will be n number, there will be endless problems, right? So don't look for problems, look for solutions, what you can do. And as a famous, I think, American president said, don't ask what a country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. Now, same way, ask what you can do for yourself. So there can be so many problems, but how you can manage it, you see that. So that has been said many times. So whatever classes are there, so go through all the classes regularly, don't miss any class. Whatever homework is assigned to you, go through that also, and manage your time accordingly. It may be hectic because when you are not having, you are not attending any classes, your that life and your classes, your life when you have started attending classes, when you have started pursuing your course, your career, you have started working in that direction. So certainly it is going to be hectic, right? But it is your choice. So if you really are aiming for something high in your life, so you need to manage that. So you need to be convinced, you need to be committed that I am going for it. And if that is the case, then it is not going to be a problem. I've seen so many students over a period of so many years now, almost 2 decades, more than 2 decades I have been there. So there are students who do it, but there are also such students who are not able to do it because they are not committed, they are not convinced that I need to go for it. Sometimes I remember there was I just want to give an example. There was a student from NSIT. And it's a good engineering college, and he was from he was a topper from computer background. So he was very smart student actually, very nice student. But his mindset was not clear. He was thinking, why I should go for MBA, why I am preparing this, I don't know. Although he was very good in the class, he was from math background only, he was a topper, and he was doing very nice in the class also. He was scoring very nicely, but he was confused. And ultimately, what happened? He didn't go for CAT, and he didn't go for CAT. He filled the form, he prepared. He paid the fees of the coaching institute, everything, but he didn't appear at all. And in his profession only, he is doing very nicely. So be convinced, are you really going for MBA? And if yes, then certainly you are supposed to put efforts, and it is possible. It is possible to be done, certainly. But with the confusion, with the confused state of mind, even if you have all the resources, you won't be able to make it. All right. So please, please, what should I call you? Introspect, right? Introspect. Check yourself. Ask yourself that what do you actually want, and if you want it, then you can do it. Okay. Anything else? Simran, what will be the first chapter so that we can revise before? And I have already answered as Simran, so wait for some time. You will be having that schedule in your WhatsApp groups. Krutabash Tripathi, Tripathi, is there any charge for shifting batch? Krutibash, for that you need to connect to our iQUANTA team. I don't think there should be any, but if there would be any difference or something, so that would be mentioned. Only they would be the right person to comment on that. Fine. Chiranjeev, when the next batch starting date? It's the next week, Chiranjeev. Enrollments are still going on, so you can join this batch. And classes, your regular classes in that paid batch in the Facebook group would be starting most probably from the next week. Exact date and exact topics, that will be clarified. That will be told to you beforehand, but it will be starting from the next week. Riddhi, any certificate class we need to do with these classes? Certainly not, Riddhi, not for CAT, not required. I joined late March and I missed a few topics. Which topic should I start first from backlogs? See, the major topics are arithmetic and numbers in the previous batches. I think these topics have been done. So arithmetic you can start with. I think that has been mentioned by Raj, Jeet sir also in one of the comments I have seen. So arithmetic you can start with. Fine. So whatever time you are having, accordingly manage. But don't miss any live classes. That, as I said earlier also, if you will keep on creating backlogs, then it will be very difficult, because it will be they will be piling up. Then it will become a burden. So don't make it a burden. ठीक है ना? Okay. Ravi, Isha pad mar jao. I am not talking about physical term. Okay. This class is over now, Aryan. No, Aryan, we are having another question to solve now. And what do we have to fill the form for CAT exam? It will be announced. Generally, it is in, I think, month of August. Dipankar. Krish, the set is still pending. Yes, we are going to do the set now. Can we start with the topic? Yes, we are going to start with this topic now. Aditya, send link of WhatsApp group. So that is for the paid students, Aditya. So those students who will be, who are part of that this course now, so they are in a separate group where all the information regarding the batch and the classes, schedule, etc. would be shared. Fine. Okay, so now let's read this set now. So this set, you are seeing the diagram in a circular ring shape, right? It is called bar graph, right? And it is basically in the form of a disc also. So this is almost same thing. So now this is only single layer. Sometimes you can get a multiple layer as well, right? Now this is as good as a bar graph. So it says, following is the cost analysis of a book, Pearson's Guide to Quantitative Aptitude for CAT. Okay, so there is a certain book and this is a cost analysis of that book. So what does that mean? So it says cost analysis, and we can see different colors here. What do they mean? So this orange part refers to proofreading, green refers to printing, paper cost, miscellaneous, royalty, and editing. Fine. So I hope you are able to see this diagram properly. Okay. So these are the different cost analysis, and it is given in terms of percentages. Before moving further, can you tell me what do you mean by that data? What do you mean by this distribution of cost analysis? That how much percent cost is being incurred in different areas, right? That is simple meaning. So this is 12%, this is 18%. Let's count that. This total money should be 100%, right? So whatever cost has been incurred, that must be total 100%. So sum of all these percentages must come out to be 100. Sometimes in the questions, specifically in the case of this bar graph, this distribution is not complete 100%. Sometimes it may happen. So we need to make it sure first. Okay, so if I do that, the 12 plus 18 is 30, right? 30 plus 10, 40. 40 plus 8 is 48, 48 and 16 is how much? 48 plus 10 is 58, 58 and 6 is 64, and 64 and 36, it is 100. That's clear, right? This is 100%. So that clarifies that there is no other head where this cost is being involved. So cost is being involved in all these different parameters. Okay, now how much percentage that is mentioned? Now, when the data is represented in the form of a circle or circular diagram or pie diagram, so sometimes it is these values, this percentage are also mentioned in the form of the angle it subtend at the center. If I join these lines, you will see that they will reach up to the center of the circle, isn't it? And all these different subheads, all these different components of this course, they are subtending, they are making certain angles at the center, right? So now can you tell me out of these portions, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, out of these six components, which of the component will make the largest angle at the center? Now that's my question to you, all of you. Which of the component will make the largest angle at the center? I'm not calculating the values, I'm just asking which will be subtending, which will be making the largest angle at the center. Is it proofreading, the orange one? Is it printing, this dark green one? This paper cost, the blue one? Miscellaneous, royalty, or editing? Which one? Of course, this 36 one, right? Printing. I hope all of you are able to get that, right? It's a very easy thing. है ना? How do you get to know this? Because it is having the largest component here. It is 36%. All other values are less than that. All other values are less than that. Is it fine? Yes, it's very true, right? So I was just giving you an example that how without actually calculating a question can be answered. You get questions like that also, right? So again, I'm saying, repeating the same thing. It may not be necessary that all the questions will be of same kind. but there can be 1 or 2 or 3 or some questions in some sets which are not required to be solved actually, which can be just answered by seeing the representation of the data, right? Anyway, now if I need to calculate the angle actually, can you suggest any way how I can calculate the angle actually? If I want to calculate any of these angles, let's say if I want to calculate the same angle only, 36%, how much angle it would be making here? How we can calculate? So you know that the complete angle made at the center of the circle is how much? It is 360 degree. Do you know that? Yes. So this is 360 degree. Now somebody is asking, Aditya, what is royalty? These are different subheads. You are not supposed to know about every term. You may be knowing, you may not be knowing. By the way, royalty is the cost which is given to the author of the book, right? So it is a part of the cost. So it's a cost where the cost is being spent, right? In this book publishing, so proofreading, printing, paper costs, miscellaneous, royalty, editing, these are the different subheads. These are different heads under which the cost, the money is incurred, the money is spent, right? Out of which royalty is also one of them. Okay, so we know that this total angle is 360 degree, right? Hena? And this 100% must be equivalent to, the 360 degree. So now if I want to calculate how much angle each of these component is subtending, we can easily convert that percentage to degrees, isn't it? From here you can easily see that simply this 1% means 3.6 degree. Yes or no? So if I want to calculate 36% kitna hoga, so it's very simple. If 1% is 3.6 degree, that means 36% would be what? It is simply 36 times. That means this number need to be multiplied with 36, right? This would be 36 times 3.6 degree, right? And how much this is? You know 36 times 36, it is 1296. This comes out to be 129.6 degree. Fine. So anyhow, so whatever value we need to calculate, we should know what is to be calculated. So if I know what is to be calculated, then second step, how to calculate it is very easy. Either you are actually calculating it manually, or you are estimating it, or you might be using calculator, whatever the way it be. But first step is that you must know what is to be calculated. I hope it is okay so far. Okay, so I think we are in a position to move to the questions. So I would suggest all of you that you can take a screenshot of this course analysis here. I am removing this ink. You can take a screenshot of this and then we can move to the questions now. Ready? Okay. So here's the first one. Oh, it's a question about central angle only. So what is the central angle showing the cost of paper? The cost of paper. I'm moving back. So paper, you can see here, it is in the blue ink here, it is 16%. Answer fast. So you need to tell me 16% this component here, how much central angle will it make? So there are the options for you. Okay, nice. So I've got few answers here. Medha, Genomic, Krisha, Nivedita, Aditya, Vasant. Wonderful, wonderful. So we know that it was 16%. So we just need to convert that 16% in degrees, isn't it? And we had already seen that 1% is equivalent to how much? 3.6 degrees. So similarly, as we calculated earlier also, we just need to multiply this 3.6 with 16. So that is our final answer. So 16 times 3.6 degree. Now how to calculate this, I have already told you. You can do it manually, you can try to approximate, or you can use calculator. That's completely your choice. But I have suggested you many times, let's try to use all the ways right now. Basically at this time, at this point of time, try to use all the ways and you decide yourself which option is better. By the way, let me tell you, the calculator which you are allowed to use in CAT is not the physical calculator you people have seen, right? It is not the calculator which you may have seen on your gadgets, where you can use your mouse to click the buttons, right? In CAT, you are to use on-screen keyboard wala calculator, right? There is no touch screen you can press. No, using either the keyboard or using the mouse, you need to press the button so that on that on-screen calculator. It's not very friendly. It's not very friendly. So unless and until we are having very larger calculations, we should try to avoid. That is the whole point, right? So if you are practicing using calculator, so use calculator which is having a on-screen interface, and you need to press the button on that on-screen interface using your mouse or maybe keypad, right? But not touch screen, because that is not going to be helpful for your preparation of using calculator on the exam. Okay? Anyhow, so that's why it's better try to avoid as much as possible, but there is no harm in using if you are able to create that scenario. Anyhow, this is 16 times 36. If you know the table of 16, that is not very difficult. You can do that, or I can separate it. 16 times 3 is 48, right? I'm separating the integral part. 16 times 3 is 48, and 16 times 6 is 96. That is 9.6. That's it. So it comes out to be how much? It is 57.6 degrees. That's it. Option D. So I've just used the table of 16, right? I've just used the table of 16, and that's done. So option D is the right answer. Fine. I'm moving to the next question. Here it is. If the cost of printing, I'm talking about the cost. If cost of printing is 23,400, what would be the cost of royalty be? Can you tell me how to calculate this? क्या करना होगा इसके लिए? It is just comparative analysis, right? So we know the different percentages in the cost analysis. I know that printing is what percent of the total cost, right? And that percentage value is given to be 23,400 now. So I need to calculate the value of this cost for the royalty, right? So we know the percentages of both of them. So if that much percent is equivalent to this value, so then what would be the value of the percentage of royalty? That's what we need to see. So let's get back to the pie chart here. So royalty is this green one, 10%, and the other part was printing now. Yeah, that was printing. So printing was 36%, right? This printing, this is dark green color here. This is 36%. So this 36% is basically 23,400. So question is simply, what is 10% equivalent to? What will be the value of this 10% component of royalty, right? That is the basically question. So let's get back to the options there. 36% is 23400. Here it is. This 36% is 23400. So I need to calculate the royalty. That is 10% would be how much? That's my question. Okay, answers. 6,500, 11,700. 11,700 is not in the options here. I think you have done some mistake, Medha. See how to simplify this. It's not difficult. Let's try to calculate. I'm trying to avoid calculator. I'm not using any calculator here. So 36% is 23,400. Can we cancel any common factor here? Let's see. This 36 is divisible by 9, right? You know the sum of the digit is 9, so this is divisible by 9. Is this number 23400, is it divisible by 9? Yes, because 2 plus 3 plus 4 is also 9. So 2 plus 3, 5, 5 plus 4, 9. So both the numbers are divisible by 9, isn't it? And if you see carefully, both the numbers are divisible by 4 also actually. So let's divide one by one. So I'm dividing first by 9. So 9 4s are 36. And if I divide this number by 9, so 9 2s are 18, 5 is remaining, 9 6 are 54, 0 0. Is that fine? So 4% comes out to be 2,600, isn't it? So I can further divide by 4, so it would be 1% then. So 1% would be equal to, now divided by 4, so 4 6 are 24, 2 is remaining, 24, 5 are 20 is 0, 650. So if 1% is 650, so clearly this 10% is simply 10 times, isn't it? This is 10 times. So this will also be 10 times of 650, which is nothing but 6,500. So clearly option A is the right answer. Many of you are already writing that. Yes. Yes, Meda, that's fine. That's fine. Is it clear? Okay. Moving to the next question now. Okay. Similar question. If the miscellaneous expenditure, now this is talking about miscellaneous. Remember, miscellaneous was one of the subheads there in the cost analysis. So if the miscellaneous expenditure amounts to rupees 18,000, so it is a similar question. So we can see the percentage of miscellaneous and that amounts to 18,000. Then question is, what is the expenditure on editing? Exactly similar question, right? Exactly similar question. So I just need to see what are the percentages for these two particular subheads here, miscellaneous and editing. Let me see that. Miscellaneous and editing. So this miscellaneous, this purple one, it is 8%, and editing, that is this gray part, this is 18%. So 8% and 18%. Miscellaneous is 8 and that is 18. Miscellaneous is 8% and this editing is 18%. So 8% is equal to 18,000. So question is asking how much this 18% would be, right? Now it's your turn to answer the question. And try to be as quick as possible. These are the options you are having: 8,000, 14,400, 46,800, none of the above. Krisha is writing 23400 into 10 by 36. Sir, can we do that? Yes, certainly, Krisha. That's what we have done basically. That's what we have done, Krisha. That's perfectly fine. Okay. Vedant is writing 4140. Array, it's not there. By the way, your answer is not matching, so that's why you are saying option D. But that's not the right answer, Vedant. It would be more, na? Arey Baba, 8% is 18,000. So 18% उससे ज़्यादा होगा कि कम होगा? It would be more than that, right? See, 8% or 18%, this is more than twice of that, isn't it? Double से ज़्यादा है. So answer would be certainly more than twice of this. So twice of this would be 36,000. So answer is going to be certainly more than 36,000. Among the options, if I see, this is less than 36,000. This is also less than 36,000. Now 46,000 तक पहुंचेगा या नहीं? That's what you have to see. All right. Okay. So many of you are calculating that it is close to 40,500. So option D. Okay, so the method is same as Krisha was mentioning. We can certainly do that. So if 8% is 18,000, so 1% is 18,000 by 8. 18,000 by 8 and multiply with 18. So that is our actual answer, right? That is our final answer actually. So how to simplify this? This is not difficult. What I can do here, should we cancel it? Let's cancel it if we are actually calculating. If we are approximating, so that we have already seen that it is more than double of that. The answer is going to be more than 36,000. That's one of the ways. Or if we are actually calculating, so let's do this. So if I should I cancel 2 here? 2 4s are 8 and 2 9s are 18. And let me cancel 2 here. That would be 9,000. So before further cancelling, I would prefer to multiply. This is basically 81,000 divided by 2. Now you can easily calculate 40,500. Certainly this is the right answer. Yes, many of you have already written that. So option D is certainly right. So with the option none of the above, sometimes it becomes beneficial to the students who have calculated a wrong answer, but still you can get your answer correct. So by the way, the right answer here is 40,500, and as per the options, it is option D. Okay, moving further to the next question now. There's one more question here. The royalty on the book, is talking about royalty, is less than the editing expenditure by what percent? Now we have to compare these two quantities, right? So editing and royalty, I think these same terms we used in the previous question. No, editing was 18%, and how much is royalty? royalty was 10%, right? We are comparing with editing and royalty, right? We are comparing editing and royalty. So royalty, editing is 18%, editing is 18% and royalty is 10%. So we are comparing 18 and 10%. Right? Editing is 18%, editing is 18% and royalty is 10%. So question is asking the royalty on the book is less than editing expenditure by what percentage? So basically now don't be confused with these percentages value with this percentage, right? They are different things. So basically this is certain quantity which is 10, this is certain quantity which is 18. So we need to answer here कि 10 18 से कितना percent कम है. So as we have calculated earlier, you remember percentage increase we calculated. Same with this time we need to calculate percentage decrease, right? Now when we are calculating percentage decrease, so in the numerator we would be writing decrease कि कितना decrease हुआ है भाई, right? What is the amount of that decrease? What is the value of that decrease? And decrease किससे हुआ है, right? So decrease किससे हुआ है? Larger value से. So that larger value would be coming here. That larger value would be coming here, right? Into 100. Because this time this royalty is less than editing, right? Less than editing. So editing से कितना कम है? So editing is that base value here, basically larger value. So let's put the value here. Decrease means this 18 minus 10. So there is a decrease of this much value, and from which it is 18 into 100. So that's what is going to give you final answer. It is 8 by 18 into 100. Now if you want to cancel out any common factor, let me cancel 2. So this is 4 and this is 9. So this is 4 by 9 into 100. So which you can easily simplify. It comes out to be 44.44%, right? So that's directly option C. Is it okay? Option C, not D, Sujal. Nandini, check. You can check your mistake if there's any. So option C, 44.44% is certainly the right answer here. Is it fine? So that's how we have just got a basic idea of what kind of questions we are going to get in this DI part. And as we discussed in the beginning as well, this separately DI, separately LR is the basic part, the starting part which we are starting with. In actual CAT, you get a mix of questions because the questions are not classified as DI set or LR set, right? That is a mixed section. And but in the beginning we need to understand all the things clearly, and gradually we will be increasing our levels so that we are able to face all the questions, right? So I'm going to take any questions, any doubts at this point, if any. So I think that is sufficient number of questions. So if you have any doubts, any questions, any queries you want to say, you want to ask, so please go ahead. And otherwise this part is sufficient. It's not percentage point, no Nebula. Percentage point is different thing. It's entirely different thing. Percent point when we say, so it's a difference between the numerical values. That would be just 8, right? That would not be percentage then. So percentage point is basically just the difference between the numerical values. Okay. So this is actually a percentage change. Okay, Krisha, what is the difficulty of these questions? Easy, basic questions. Krisha, these are basic questions. They are introductory questions. Fine? Chok boss, ये सब बातें यहाँ नहीं भाई. Shantanu, are we done with the class? Yes, in the terms of content, we are done with the today's part, Shantanu. If there are any questions, any queries you want to ask, you can ask. Okay, you can certainly give your feedbacks, your comments for the today's session, today's part, whatever you have learned. What have you learned? That would be a good thing. What have you learned? Anything new you have added to your learning? Certainly you must be having your learning also already, right? So have you learned anything new? You can mention in the comments. That would be your revision. and that would be honest feedback as well, isn't it? Okay. When will books hard copy sent to us? Genomic, bhai, for that you certainly need to connect to our iQUANTA team. Generally, it is dispatched in the beginning of session only. So, but depending upon the volume, it may take time. So you can connect with our team and get the exact data on that, right? That when your particular set of books would be reaching you, you can get that information. Exactly. Okay, if question asks that what royalty is less than editing expo by how much percent, then answer should be 8%. No, whenever it is asking about the percentage change, we need to do that only. So regarding 8%, it is not 8% ever. There is a percentage point as mentioned by Nebula. So if it is asking about what is the difference in percentage points, in that case it is 8% change. 18%, 10%, 8%, right? So but when it is how much percent less, so we need to do that part only. Okay, so percentage point is entirely different thing, and in CAT actually I have rarely seen that. Actually, I have never seen that. But yes, we discussed that part, so you must be familiar with that also. But generally, we are supposed to calculate percentage increase or percentage decrease as you have done here. Okay. Vasant, Noyer, Nebula, it was really learning a session. Thank you, Noyer. Vasant is saying today class is more understanding than last session. Nice. Solving the questions fastly sometimes doesn't give accurate results. Yes, there is no need to rush to the questions. Just give your best. Just give your best in a cool, calm, composed manner. Right? Actually, see, you should be confident what you are doing. If you are not confident after the question you have attempted, then you get to know, arey ye galti kar di, arey wo galti kar di, then what is the benefit? Right? So you should be very confident what you are doing. Right? So that's why it is very much important that you should be full of control of your nerves. Right? Don't waste in haste. जल्दबाजी का काम शैतान का होता है, ऐसा बोलते हैं, है ना? Okay. Manisha, okay, percentage increase and decrease, you understood, nice. Shantanu, thanks. Sisha, so we need a basic foundation on arithmetic to understand in a single course. Certainly, certainly. And it is really very helpful, Isha, in all the topics I said that in quant as well as DI part, you are repeatedly going to use all the arithmetic topics, almost all the topics. Simran, okay, by how can I manage my time to study all the subjects? That has been said repeatedly. It varies from person to person. See your own time and see your shortcomings, your limitations, where you need to work more, and accordingly divide your time. ठीक है ना? And what time structure you are following, what difficulties you are facing, so you can connect it, with our team members. They will help you personally, right? So what would suit you, that you are to analyze. Right? And we are here to help you out in helping you to devise your plan. Right? Somebody else's plan may not suit you. So that is individual. You need to see whatever time is available to you and in what area you need to focus more, and accordingly devise your way. ठीक है ना? Okay. Is iQUANTA books enough? Yes, Vedant. Certainly yes. See, believe me, I have never studied any book. I have never studied any book. I remember when I started teaching, students were coming up with different questions, different doubts from so many books. So I have solved their queries, the difficult questions from all the books which they were not able to solve. Right? So now I know all the books. Right? Now that's why I know all the books. So basically, this book or that book, that doesn't matter much. iQUANTA books are the latest ones, so that's why they are certainly preferable. Whatever the new editions and new books are there, they are certainly advisable. If some other publisher actually publishes new books, normally the books in the market you see, they are the same old books, and every year they change the cover. That's it. The content is more or less same, right? But the iQUANTA books are the new ones. There's a new edition, so that's why it is preferable. So whatever book you are having, if you are having iQUANTA books, go with them. If you already have some other book, there's no problem, you can go with that as well. But point is that, are you actually solving that? So solve that. ठीक है ना? Try to learn from that. That is the main thing. Okay, Aditya ji, great and helpful session. Thank you. Oh, what else? Krisha is say difficult question आएंगे CAT में certainly. अरे भाई I told you these are introductory questions. CAT certainly have better questions, but CAT certainly have average questions as well. So you are certainly going to get difficult question than this also. Certainly, no doubt. Percentage increase, decrease, and most importantly, see the units as it can cause the answer to be wrong if ignored. Exactly. Okay, Nivedita, I have doubt from quant non-engineering module, so how can I connect to you for my doubts? Nivedita, you can certainly message on Facebook and you can connect with our team as well. There are a lot of our team members specifically for this doubt resolving purpose. So accessibility should not be an issue in the age of technology, isn't it? Certainly, so you can connect. I allow you for that. Fine. Krisha, sir, अब easy लग रहा है DILR. भुलावे में मत रहो. You will get tough questions as well, right? These were the introductory questions, as I've said repeatedly. So you are going to get tricky questions also, which you may not be able to even understand what is being asked. So भुलावे में मत रहो. I repeat the same thing. But yes, practice is the only key. So more and more variety of questions you become familiar with, and actual confidence you will be developing, right? You will be developing actual confidence. So I wish that you actually be confident in all the topics. So I wish all of you practice regularly. So that is what is required. Aditya Srivastav, daily practice में around कितने sets would be good to keep as a goal? Currently around at least 6 sets का daily goal रखा है, but थोड़ा सा कम feel हो रहा है. If you have enough time, you can go increase it. There is no problem. But 6 sets daily, I don't think it is less. It's sufficient. But if you are having enough time and if you have capability to do more, then go ahead. Who is stopping you? Okay. So learn how to understand question. Nice. That's a good thing, Riddhi. Nice. I understand more in this session than the previous session. अरे previous session में क्या था? I don't remember. Dipankar, I am using Arun Sharma books. No problem. Sharma ji, Verma ji, and so many ji. You can use any book. I have told that already. But the latest books are certainly better. So if you don't have any book, then you can certainly go for iQUANTA books. Okay, daily practice के लिए sets कहाँ से मिल सकते हैं नंदिनी? Nandini, there are many sources. If you have joined iQUANTA, there is no dearth of material. iQUANTA is hub of material, hub. And if you are looking for some other sources, then also there is no dearth of material available. So many things are there. But the best resource, I would certainly suggest, best resource for any exam is always its previous year's questions, right? So previous year's questions or mock tests that you can go through, right? There is enough material for that. Okay, thank you everyone. So we shall end here. It's already 9. So if you still have any doubts or any queries, you can always ask them, post them on our Facebook group, right? So we shall end it here. Thank you very much. Good night. Hare Krishna.